Hey, there is snow on mountain peaks all around the country. Are your skis waxed? Have you located all of your gear around the house? And really important this year, do you have your season's pass? And have you read up on all of the different protocols for your favorite ski area? Hey, we've got a great show tonight. We're going to feature the new film from Warren Miller, Future Retro. Hi, everybody. I'm Dan Egan, and welcome to SkiTalk right here on pugski.com. Of course, SkiTalk, well, it's all things snow. Our guests range from the winter sports legends to industry experts to everyday skiers and snowboarders. And we want to hear from you. We want to know your questions. Drop them in the comments section on Facebook and ask away. Tonight, as always, we have a packed show, and we'll be hanging out with Phil Pugliese, the co-founder of Pug Ski. Phil, how are you doing today?
Doing great here, Dan. We're supposed to get some cold weather this weekend and high elevation snow, and we're hearing some areas are even starting to open in the upper Midwest. So the blood's going. We're talking skiing.
Everybody wants to know, Phil, and having worked with you for as long as I've worked for you, how many hours a week are you logging on Pug Ski, working nonstop? Do you ever sleep?
Well, it's funny when you have your own business, people say, well, you can set your own hours. And absolutely you do. You set them at 24/7, 365. My typical day is I'm up at 3 or 4 in the morning. I'll check the site, be on there for a couple of hours. I might fall back to sleep a little bit. Come ski season, we'll be up there ideally for first chair. We'll ski till around noon or so. Grab a quick bite, come back down, get back online. Maybe ideally take a little bit of a siesta in the afternoon, back online again, have dinner, and online, and we're asleep by 9 o'clock, and we do it all over again. I mean, that's our typical day.
That's an awesome day. That's a lot. That's a great day.
It's a lot of fun, and we enjoy doing it.
And of course, Pug Ski is the official media sponsor of the U.S. Ski and Snowboard Hall of Fame. They support the hall through fundraising and different exposures. And the big news that we're going to be announcing tonight on the show is the winner of the IKON pass that supported the Hall of Fame. Just tell us a little bit about the contest, Phil. How did this work?
Well, the IKON has been fantastic working with the Hall of Fame. We did some advertising and helped them out with it, but to create more exposure for the Hall of Fame. So we ran the contest through our readership, through our email list, and on Facebook, and we got a really good, diverse group of people that put their submissions in for it, and we drew a random winner. We got this cool little random generator that I went online, and we picked out our winner.
That's awesome. So we're going to be meeting our winner a little later on in the show, and that's going to be exciting, announcing here right on SkiTalk. And of course, tonight we have with us from the Alterra Mountain Company, we're joined by Charles Christensen to give us the inside scoop on the upcoming season. Charles, how you doing, man?
Doing all right. Thanks for having me.
It's everybody wants to know, and maybe you want to break some news here on SkiTalk for us. What's going to be the first Alterra resort to open, and when?
That is a great question. One that I'm not privy to, and I don't think anyone but Mother Nature will know. But certainly excited about the season, and happy to talk about what's to come and what people can expect.
All right. Well, he's not giving it away. He's not going to tell us. He knows there'll be a bunch of pug skiers lined up, ready to go if the word got out tonight. So fair enough. And of course, tonight, our special guest, as always, needs no introduction. He's a legend, a world-class mountaineer, a ski film icon, I learned tonight, the oldest Red Bull athlete in North America, an honored member of the U.S. Ski and Snowboard Hall of Fame, a 2-time World Extreme Skiing champion, and more importantly, he's East Coast born and bred. It's Mr. Chris Davenport. Chris, how you doing, man?
Yeah, go East Coast, New Hampshire all the way. Nice to see you guys. Great to be on the show. Thanks for having me. And God, you read those accolades, and I don't even think about that stuff anymore. But even my dog's freaking out right now when you hear that. Great to see you guys. Thanks.
Your kids have been Snapchatting me. I hit them up this afternoon, and it's great to hear from them. And they've all picked the one question they want to ask you tonight, Chris, is they told me they're all willing to study remotely. And are you going to take them heli skiing in Alaska next week?
I'm not going to take them heli skiing in Alaska next week because they're in school. Even if it was remote, they are actually in person in school. But I have taken them in Portillo, Chile in the past, and man, nothing would make me happier than to ski with those boys and my wife in AK. That would be a dream.
Oh, that really would be something special. Charles, everybody is talking ski season. Everybody's ramped up, and I know all the different ski areas are doing their best to kind of communicate next steps and protocols. And one of the questions I have is, do you anticipate different protocols east and west?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Alterra itself, this is our company vision is one company of many unique brands building a global mountain community. And those communities are different all over the world, and certainly within North America, East Coast versus West Coast, as you described. The focus of this year is to be laser focused on the health and safety of our people. And our people are the guests, certainly our employees in the local communities. So with our guidelines prompted through NSAA and the Ski Well, Be Well document that they've put out, those are really kind of the baseline or really top level guidelines that'll be people will be operating from, and then informed with Alterra's own COVID guidelines, and then kicking down and working with the local regulators and ordinances and National Forest Service if necessary to those local specificities that we need to adapt to. So it's definitely going to look different at every resort, and that's because they're in different places and especially in this season, dealing not only with different weather but different circumstances.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think it's amazing how in-depth the ski areas are drilling in to make sure people are safe and to do the one thing we all want to do, spin the lifts and go skiing. And I love that. Phil, you've been talking a lot about it, and I see it on site. There's going to be a lot going on in the backcountry, sort of side country, out of bounds, and safety, of course, is big there. You're seeing a lot of chatter on that on Pug Ski?
Oh, huge. That's one of the things that we've been definitely professing is that safety. And actually, I'll hand that over to Chris, who's probably as experienced as anybody in one of the top people in the world on backcountry safety, and his experiences there. So I'll let him really get into that a little bit more. But I just wanted to point out something for Charles is I get all the emails and all the new all the press releases. The thing that impressed me the most as far as all of Alterra's releases were 3 lines that they had in all of their press releases. One was, at this time, we will remain flexible. And we will continue to communicate as we have more concrete information available. And that's the one thing that people really understand, that this is such a moving target, both inbounds and when Chris gets to talk about out of bounds also. But understand the level of flexibility that everybody needs this coming season. And they've been really at the forefront of this and really stressing that and realizing that this is the measures that they have to take to keep all of us safe out there.
Yeah, it's a great point, Phil. I mean, if I could amplify that for a second, it's going to take teamwork, from with our team members, our employees, people on the front line, and the guests, kind of working in concert to allow everyone to enjoy these wonderful mountains. Just getting from all your excitement and just hearing you all talk about skiing is getting me excited. We're sometimes. We're in that phase of the year where the planning has gone on, it feels like forever, but it's all for these right reasons. I was, given an analogy by our resort president at Mammoth, was talking about, it's kind of like sitting at the top of a mountain right now in flat light, where you sort of, you got to get down. It's a little ambiguous, might be a little bit murky. And your tendency might be to get in the back seat a little bit, but when you're equipped and you have multiple plans and you can be flexible with the unknown variables, you're going to be in a lot better position, get on the balls of your feet, and you're going to get down to that destination or through the run a little bit better. So we're planning, we're excited for the year, and it's going to require some flexibility. Any plan that we had right now, I can guarantee you is going to look different in December, and then again in January, and then the rest of the ski season. So that's what we're asking of our guests, and that's how we're going to operate this year.
No, that's great, and it's a great point, and I think it's really, really important. And of course, somebody who, if you've ever lost in flat light or a storm, you'd want to be with Chris Davenport. Find your way home in a storm. And I know, Chris, you're doing a lot of mountaineering, a lot of trips lately. You had mentioned you've been over in Morocco. You had a group over there?
I did. I was actually over there with just a couple friends, right as COVID was kind of ramping up in the Alps and in Italy especially. We were there March 1st to March 11th. I was supposed to fly from Marrakesh to Venice right after that to visit Scarpa, do some ski boot design work, and then go to the Dolomites with some clients. And then after that, I was going to Zermatt, another great IKON resort. But that all fell by the wayside as COVID sort of took over the Alps, and we hightailed it back to Colorado as fast as we could. Got home here, I think, on the 13th, and we had 2 days of skiing in Aspen, and then the governor shut down the Colorado ski industry, which rippled across the country. I did want to sort of comment on what Charles was saying. I actually had coffee with David Perry, the COO of Alterra, the other day, and we were talking about the season. I think everybody's optimistic. Alterra has done all the hard work, all the heavy lifting to try to plan what would be a safe and great ski season. Of course, Mother Nature helping out. But if COVID has taught us or shown us anything, it's that things have been changing. I mean, I think back to March, and I was like, okay, now we're on quarantine, we're locked down, and maybe I can get up to Alaska in late April or May. Maybe we can ski in South America. This would have been my 20th year in a row coaching in Portillo, Chile. And it just is like one domino sort of falling after the other. So I think we need to be prepared, as Charles said, for any eventuality. We don't know what's going to happen, but we're certainly here in Aspen Snowmass and at the rest of the Alterra Resorts or IKON Resorts, we're certainly set up to succeed. We just need all of these like other things to sort of fall into place. With that said, I mean, I've got lots of plans for the winter, but I've also got like contingencies, and I'm looking forward to traveling less. This trip to Morocco to ski mountaineer in the high Atlas Mountains was amazing. I'm glad I did it, and I certainly would love to get back there. But I also, after 25 years of kind of flying around the world, am really enjoying just being here in my own backyard. So there's some silver linings, and I can't wait for the snow to fly. I can't wait to slap my skins on and climb up the mountains, and certainly can't wait to ride the chairlifts as well.
Yeah, it's amazing. I haven't been home in New Hampshire for this stretch of time for so long. I can't remember when. It is nice. It's good to be reminded of home. Hey, yeah. Right now we're going to check out a film on YouTube about Chris called The Faces of Dav. Let's check that out.
For me, it used to just be fun going out and shredding, being in front of the camera and kind of letting that speak for itself. But nowadays, for me, that's not enough. As you get older, you're gonna have a transition out of being the best in the world at what you do. If you want longevity, you have to clearly integrate yourself with the business. In my career as a skier, it's oftentimes been all about me. But once you have children, that's no longer the thought process. Been on all 7 continents and skied on 6 of them. This is as far north as I've ever been, kind of as far north as you can go. Nice job. There you go. More about finding beautiful lines and incredible locations. To me, that's discovery, that's adventure. I put it in probably the top 3 couloirs that I've ever done in my life. When I break down everything I do as a pro skier, as a business person, as a parent, as a family man, this is all part of the grand scheme or architecture of my life and my career.
That's a lot of
Wow.
What I liked about that, Chris, is you're talking about really maturing as a person and an athlete in the industry and taking on different roles of it. Just briefly, that series, was that a YouTube series that you released back then?
It was actually on Red Bull TV, their Red Bull Media House's channel. It's exhausting looking at that stuff, man. We put a lot of hard work into all that, and it was amazing. But yeah, it was on Red Bull TV, and it lives on YouTube and various other platforms as well. And part of me would like to do another season, and maybe pivot to some kind of like more Western United States, like local thing, visiting Alterra Resorts, for instance. But it took a lot of time. It's a lot of effort. Dan, I mean, you were filming way before I was. I mean, it's like you spend weeks out there and you get a few great shots and you're excited, but it's time consuming.
When we had Kai on the show, we were talking about how to start asking for sponsorships, as you so smoothly did there from the Alterra Resort. And getting that kid tuned in at the age of 11 is amazing. So Phil, of course, Kästle's a big ski, big buzz. It's that time of year to start checking out new equipment. What do you got behind you?
I got some of the new Kästles for this coming year. Chris also has the new ZX108, which is an all-new ski for Kästle this year, new venture for them. But as far as the skis that we're really excited about is the new MX collection, the Mountain Cross series. I mean, the MX series is one of the first skis that came out in the early 2000s that was a premium level ski, something that the industry really didn't have. And they just did a magnificent job. They made a ski that really did ski different, that was, quite frankly, priced above everything else, but also skied above everything else at that point. Yeah. And there was a difference. It was such a desirable ski when that came out. I did a series a couple of years ago called Once a Decade Ski, and that truly was a once a decade ski. It was a timeless design. They did a magnificent job with it, carried through its evolutions. Now, this is probably the biggest change that they made to that collection since it was introduced back in the mid-2000s. They went back to some of the original widths of it. They brought back the MX-83, brought back the MX-88, the MX-98. They made a little bit better sizing of it, where some of the original skis, people fell in between sizes. But this new collection really is an MX for the ages, in that the original one, it was such a high-performance ski that it wasn't obtainable for everybody. Now they made the ski a little more accessible for, you still have to be a good skier with a solid skill set to be on the ski, but you're going to get much more out of the ski. It's going to give you probably an extra run or two in the day because it's not going to wear you out. So Chris is smiling there, so I think I'm hitting all the right notes as far as on the ski. But again, what really impressed me with it was, again, the ski is easy without what we liked from that original, what we loved from that original MX. And I've got the 83 here. The 88 is still back in the line again. MX-98 is there. A narrower MX-75 for the East Coast. But they did a super, super job with this new collection. And I'll let Chris maybe hit some points that I might have missed on it. But I've got an article on there as far as the history of the MX. We've got an image that can pop up. But if you come over to Pugski, we do have an article here, which definitely is worth a read to look at the history of it. I had a lot of fun with this ski right from the start. When I was still back east, small little mom and pop shop I was at on the East Coast was the retailer of the year early on with Kästle, and I've just been really a fan of the line ever since.
And Chris, for not everybody knows all of your involvement with Kästle, and in addition to sending Charles a new pair to grease the skids on the sponsorship. You want to tell us about your involvement with the company?
Yeah, I've got a great story of the origins of Kesley 3.0. And I say 3.0 because Kesley was around for 80 years as a early and big ski brand. They went out of business in 1997. They were owned by the Benetton family from Italy. And in 2007, three Austrian guys that worked for Fischer had gotten together over beers in Austria and said, why don't we leave Fischer and bring Kesley back to the market, do something interesting with that. So they did that. They began raising some money in Austria to buy the brand. And I was the first person they called outside of Europe to start the business here in North America. When the first president, 2.0 president, Siggy Rumphuber, called me to ask me if I would get involved, I said, listen, this sounds great. We can talk money, blah, 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 whatever. But I need to ski the product that you guys are going to make. He flew down to Portillo, Chile, in the summer of 2007, and he brought the first prototype of the MX88. That was the first ski that they made. And I skied it. I put it on my wife, my coaches down there. Everybody was blown away. From the first turn, I was like, oh my gosh, powerful, intuitive, fun, a ski is supposed to make you feel good, and I had a huge smile on my face. So I said, listen, if this is what you guys are going to be manufacturing, I'm in. It sealed the deal right there. So that winter, 07-08, we started opening the business here in the United States. We showed our first collection at the SIA show in Las Vegas, and things took off. And that MX88 has always been a hallmark of Kesley skis. It's just such a great all-mountain ski. It's got tons of performance and power, and it makes you feel good. Now we're in Kesley 3.0, and what I mean by that is I became an owner of the company in 2015 or 2014, and we sold the company in 2018 to a Czech investor. Now the company is held by a Czech business. We're manufacturing skis in the Czech Republic, which is why I say 3.0. And the Kesley MX series is back with a vengeance. It's the best MXs we've made probably in the last 8 years, six or 8 years. The finish is incredible. The performance is incredible. It's a little bit more forgiving, perhaps. Some of the early MX skis were kind of like a wide World Cup ski. I mean, you literally could put everything you have into it as an expert skier, and it would push back. Now it still does that, but it's just got a little bit more, sort of forgiveness, if you will. And really, again, I keep saying it, but it just makes you feel good. So here in Aspen Snowmass, I ski the MX98 a lot when there's soft snow, and we get a lot of dry spells here in Colorado because it's sunny like 300 days a year. And I'll take out my MX88 and I will do top to bottom runs on Aspen Mountain all day long, and it's just, you can just lay that thing over, and it's incredible. Phil, you and I have skied together at Winter Park many times, skiing these skis. So you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I would say to all the folks that are watching here this evening or going to watch here in the future, if you haven't tried one, just go try it. Just get behind the wheel, if you will. And I think you'll be impressed. We've done a great job with these skis.
Yeah, so many people love that ski. And of course, on our chat here on Facebook, the Northern Edge says they were first dealers, so that's an awesome thing. Yep. And I think, Chris, with your background, and obviously the roots in ski racing, and Charles, I wanted to bring this to you because you're a former ski racer, and you're involved still as a liaison from the resort and the ski racing community. How is COVID going to affect ski racing? A lot of people want to know that, and what's that going to look like this year at resorts?
Yeah, it's a good question. Similar to the question that was asked about what skiing is going to look like, I think racing may have a unique approach, not dependent on East Coast versus West Coast, but again, starting with regulations, needing to talk to understand local ordinances and adapting as such, and also you kind of have another dimension of how old, what type of race are we talking about? So I think overall themes of reduced travel for sure, probably starting a little later in the year. One of the things about your first question of when are we going to start, and it's so exciting to get out onto the mountain. Everyone's been trapped in their homes and the kids are crawling up the walls, is that we don't really want to open a white ribbon of death and have that be the only thing. I mean, again, going back to our laser focus on the health and safety of our people, we need to do this safely, and ski racing, operating those and holding them successfully is no different. So a little bit of a slow start going into programs and events like ski racing. If I had to put myself in the position of someone organizing a ski race right now, I would, I'd be avoiding peak days, right? So we've got these big, probably maybe only 10 or 15 throughout the entire year, thinking Saturdays, holidays, extended weekends, that it'll be really important just to reduce that peak capacity at mountains. And so ski racing is going to be a component of that. As for the ops, I sit as an industry contact on the U.S. ski team, U.S. Ski and Snowboard Association Covet planning force. And so I could help, inform just a real all-star class of operators from ski coaches and otherwise. And they're going to have a great plan. You've seen initial guidance put forth by Tiger Shaw and the U.S. ski team and the USSA. But again, clear guidance of, keeping everyone safe, limiting the travel, and so we can all do it again. And really the idea is to get open and stay open. When the ski areas close, obviously races don't happen. So we're trying to limit the variability at the top. And, every event, be it ski racing or anything else, is going to, we're working with them hand in glove to make sure that happens.
A lot of good points there. And again, that sort of theme of being patient. And I like what you said about you don't want to open up a white ribbon, of crowds and people, and that's great. So I think, just as we roll into the start of the ski season, patience and allowing the ski resorts to do their thing, so that we can all do our thing, is sort of the key thing. So tonight, we talked about at the top of the show, we gave away an IKON pass. And I did not win. Chris didn't win. None of Phil's relatives won. And we've got the winner with us here. Phil, introduce the winner, and let's bring her on the show.
Our winner actually is also Tahoe-based. She has been a reader of our site. She's more of a lurker than she is a poster, but she is on the site, and she is a member. And her views are just as important as the people that are active on the site. So people that are reading the site, and one of the things I always emphasize on when anybody's replying to a thread or asking a question is when you're asking a question on our site, you're not asking or answering a question of the original post, but you're answering that same question that 1,000 other people might have that are afraid to post. And our reader here actually is a member. She gets all of our emails. She follows us, and she does read everything on the site. But as far as her name, Lee Kooler here from Lake Tahoe is the winner of the IKON Pass. Hi there, Lee.
Hey, Lee, how you doing?
Doing great. Thank you very much. I'm very excited. This is one of the best things that's ever happened to me.
That's great. So you've got the IKON pass now, and it must did it change the way you're looking at the winter now that you have an IKON pass?
Absolutely. Fortunately, I just retired from 40 years of teaching college. So it's really good timing for me to get out and enjoy some of the resorts that I've never really even dreamed about. So I'm very excited.
It's great to have you on the show. And not only are you the winner of the IKON Pass, but you're also our first consumer skier that we've had on the show. We want to thank you for being that, representing all the skiers. And so what's your sort of pre-season routine? Your skis are ready to go. You're looking at trail maps. What are you doing?
I'm getting some new equipment this year, and I am, as the gyms are closed, but I get to go to physical therapy. So I'm using all of the equipment to get myself in the best shape possible for some new resorts this year.
That's awesome. And as you look at the list, and of course, you know, we've got Charles on the line here. Is there one resort that you didn't know was an IKON pass and you're excited to go to? And which one might that be?
Well, my dream resort would be Zermatt, so I might be able to make that happen. And I have been to Deer Valley, and where else have I been? Well, I'm local to Squaw and Alpine, and I've only skied at Alpine, so I get to go to Squaw, and I'm very excited to go to Mammoth as well.
Lee, I think we should come to Aspen so we can ski together. I'd love to
There
show
you
you
go.
around.
That would be amazing. Thank you.
And
Jared.
come visit Big Sky as well. Come out and
Great.
visit Big Sky.
Yeah, Big Sky.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I'd love to.
You know, when you hear and you see the excitement, Charles, of somebody who knows they have access now to so many resorts, you know, that's so important as an operator. Well, how does it make you feel, and how does it give you perspective on your job?
I mean, this is what it's all about, right? Free skiing and access to a bunch of resorts. How does it get any better than this? I've got this map behind me that shows all of the IKON Pass destinations. This is, you know, looking live into the office here, and it's out of date because we've added a few more since then. So it doesn't have Bachelor, it doesn't have Red Mountain, it doesn't have a few others that are, you know, that we've added throughout this year. So just the aspirational nature of getting that pass, I mean, it just unlocks so much. You know, it's great to get a single pass to your local resort. I remember, you know, I used to pin mine up against the tuning bench, and, you know, check out my funny pictures throughout the year. And now you get to do that. You know, we have 44 destinations in North America, so you can pretty much go anywhere, any state you can drop in, and guaranteed you're going to get some good turns in. So it's super exciting. And again, congratulations to Lee. You know, depending on when you go, yeah, definitely check out Mammoth, and you can pop over to June, which is right next door.
Oh.
And, you know, you're going to have a great time.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
It's great. And of course, now we're at the time of the show where we have our round table of guests, and people can ask anybody any question you want. And let's start with you, Lee. Do you have any questions of anybody on the panel?
Oh, gosh. Well, each of you could tell me what your favorite resort is, and I can put it on the list.
Absolutely. Well, let's start with you, Charles. What's your favorite IKON resort?
Well, I don't think I'd be allowed back home if I didn't say Alyeska. So I was born and raised there, and pound for pound, it's still my favorite mountain. I'm incredibly biased, and it's hopefully in the future will be on the IKON Pass. But you know, typically I would say it depends what time of year. Mammoth in the spring's pretty hard to beat, and yeah, you know, Aspen's got 4 mountains, so you can choose any of those. But yeah, Alyeska is certainly my favorite. But really, as long as I'm on 2 boards going down the mountain, I'm in a good place.
Great.
Chris, what's your big resort?
Well, I'm gonna agree with Charles. I'm a big fan of Alyeska. I've had some incredible days on the North Face there under the tram. That is a special mountain for sure. I'm also partial to my home mountains here in Aspen Snowmass. Dan, I'm a big fan of Big Sky. That on the right day, Big Sky is incredible. I also am really a fan of Zermatt, and Lee mentioned that was one of her dream resorts as we were talking before the show. You know, the Alps are just a different animal. They're just the interconnected lift systems, the sheer volume of terrain. It's just like night and day. I mean, like I ski Aspen Highlands, it's 650 acres, and Zermatt's probably 65,000 acres. It's like not even in the same ballpark. But the good thing about the IKON Pass is there is absolutely something for everybody. So you can dream. I was the kid that grew up with like 50 ski area maps on my wall. This is obviously before the internet. And I would just look at these maps, places my parents had been, or I'd collected them, and I would just dream about what it was like. James Niehues was the artist who created many of these maps and recently inducted into the U.S. Ski Hall of Fame. He was the guy that inspired me to be the skier that I am, because I was staring at these things. So we're living in a pretty cool era right now where one pass can take you to all your dream destinations.
and I have his book, so I will
Nice.
be going over it.
Well, Lee, I wrote the foreword of the book, so I tell that story in the foreword. So go, read that.
Great.
That's awesome. Phil, where are you going to be using your IKON?
Well, here we got Squaw and Alpine, obviously. We'll be going down to Mammoth. We do have a trip to Aspen area scheduled at the end of February for the gathering, for the Pug Ski gathering, where we have people coming from all over. And I will say that Snowmass is probably one of my favorite mountains. You've got 4,000 feet top to bottom skiing. You've got just tremendous terrain. It has everything for you. It truly is a special, special mountain. And as far as other areas, I have to say nothing really beats the vibe of Mad River Glen as far as that single chair and going. And some of my favorite combination of trail there is from Catamount Bowl to Beaver to Lynx and back down. I just love that combination of trails. But out here, Squaw and Alpine, I like the vibe of Alpine. I'll choose Alpine a little bit more over Squaw just because it is a little more relaxed. It's a great area. But as far as if I have to travel, I'm going to go to Snowmass, and of course, Big Sky is pretty damn good, and so there's so many choices. Jackson, might as well hit Jackson on the way. So, and nice. If you're going to do that way, you might as well just go up through Deer Valley, and I mean, it's never ending what you can do on the IKON Pass. I mean, the options are just endless. You run out of days before you run out of areas. Really, is what it comes down to.
Chris, you got a question for anybody on the panel?
No, I was just nodding my head in agreement with all of this. I am so psyched to ski. It's been a wonderful summer and fall, and the snow is supposed to fly this weekend. And in some places in Colorado, we could get up to 20 inches of snow, which means you can get up the mountain. So, yeah, I'm excited.
I think we do have some questions over from Facebook. One, I'll toss this over to Chris as far as what's the best Kästle he likes for Midwest groomers?
Yeah, so typically in the Midwest, you're going to be skiing on artificial snow, man-made snow, and so you want something narrower, narrower underfoot. We have quite a few offerings in that category. I would say if you're like an ex-racer and somebody who really likes to sort of performance carve, you're going to want to go with the MX series. The MX is our highest performance skis, all mountain skis. So like the MX 75 would be incredible. If you're a little bit more, maybe like a masters racer, you could go with that RX 12. The RX 12 is basically like a recreational race ski. And then if you're a more casual skier and you want to kind of cruise, I'd go with the FX 86. That's the FX series is our sort of free ride series. So early rise tip, very sort of easy skiing experience. It's very versatile with minimal weight and comfortable. So that FX 86. So you've got a few options there between RX, MX, and FX.
That's great. That's awesome. Charles, you got a question for anybody on the panel?
Dan, I think I've got one maybe for you, or just a comment that in my room, Chris really, brought me back thinking about the posters or the trail maps. But I had one of Warren Miller's Vertical Reality. And it was just my favorite poster. Just going straight down, black and yellow skis, and I'm honored to be virtually in the same group or conversation with you as someone who was on it. So I'm really just looking for any type of story to tell me about the shooting of that in particular. I think it was made in like 94, so I was probably about 10 years old at that point. This is like peak nostalgia for me. So this one's laser right back at you.
That's a great memory even for me. That's Vertical Reality. We shot it in New Hampshire, and we jumped out of the Cannon Mountain Tram with my good friend Dean Deakus by my side, and Allison Gannett also jumped out of the tram that day. We all got two shots at it, and what was difficult about jumping out of the tram was the door. The ridge, there's a metal ridge that the door runs in. and Canon wanted the shot. The reason why they let us do it is that if the doors were closed, you could read Canon, and then they would open and we jumped out. But you had to get your skis up and over the ridge to get out. And it did take us a couple tries to get that right. And they blew snow for a couple days for us and made a big mound of snow. We landed sideways. And for those Canon skiers out there, we jumped out of Ketchup. We jumped out of the red tram right around Tower 2. But it was a great, I appreciate that, the question. And that was my last feature film for Warren Miller in 1994 until this year, where they dusted off all the old dogs for Future Retro. That's been released online. You can check it out. There's an East Coast, West Coast, and three different release dates for the film. We're going to show you the teaser tape for Future Retro, Warren Miller's annual film, right now.
We get to share what we love with the world. We get to share what we love with our fans. We get to share what we've learned with the next generation. This sport has given me so much that I feel like it's my turn to give it back. When's it going to be your turn?
I've been on some big peaks, but nothing like this. This is going to humble us for sure.
I don't think there's anything small up here.
Okay, here we go.
Dan, cameras are ready.
My dad wasn't too happy. He didn't think it was a very good choice to become a ski bum. I just knew deep down that this is what I wanted to do. I didn't care what anybody said. I was going to do it anyway. Next thing I know, we're leaving tracks in places that had never been skied before.
So much work had to go into hosting World Cup. I couldn't believe that large an event was happening right here where I grew up.
See the power that these women are creating in the turns. It's something that I want to feel to the very end of my days.
They were having a pretty low snow year, and as soon as we got there, it was like 3 feet of blower pow. You have an idea that it's going to look like the postcards, and when you show up, it actually looks like that.
It's rocky, it's gnarly, it's cold, it's windy. It breeds real skiers. What else to say? It's really the best playground you can dream of.
There's nothing like this in the world.
1, 2, 3, shoot.
1, 2, 3, shoot?
Yeah.
Oh.
Every single run is like a flashback to my childhood.
This is where I wanted to be when I was 12 and 13, watching Kyler flash the thing.
It's hard to believe, you know, where does the time go?
You know, every generation kind of takes it to a whole other level, and that's the future of skating. We got ways to go still.
Looks like a fun one. Well, that looks like a fun one, don't you think?
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah, so that's going to be fun. So you can check that out online. There's going to be an online release. We'll post that at pugski.com. And you've all out there in Facebook land have wasted another perfect Wednesday night with us here at SkiTalk. We want to thank you for joining us. And we hope you will come back and be a guest again. Charles, would love to have you again. Chris, would love to catch up with you this winter, wherever you might be. Lee, congratulations. Enjoy that free IKON pass.
Congratulations, Lee. Thanks for having me.
Okay, we'll be back in 2 weeks right here on SkiTalk on pugski.com. I'm Dan Egan, and thanks for joining us.